Beginning. Claire Monroe had always loved Sunday mornings. The house was usually quiet, filled only with the soft hum of the refrigerator and the gentle ticking of the wall clock. She would make herself a cup of coffee, open the window just enough to let the early spring air in, and let her thoughts drift. On this particular morning, she was halfway through a sip of coffee when she heard 3 light knocks on the bathroom door upstairs. It wasn't unusual for her 10-year-old son, Ethan, to wander around the house early in the morning. But something about the knocks felt different, hesitant, almost like he wasn't sure he wanted whoever was inside to answer. She set her coffee cup down and called up the stairs, "Ethan? Everything okay?" There was a pause, then Ethan's voice, soft and unsure. "Mom, you should see this." Claire frowned. She wiped her hands on a dish towel and climbed the stairs. The hallway smelled faintly of the lavender cleaning spray she'd used the day before. When she reached the bathroom door, she found Ethan standing there in his dinosaur print pajamas, barefoot, clutching something in his hand. "What is it, honey?" Claire asked, crouching slightly to meet his eyes. Ethan opened his hand, revealing a crumpled cream-colored envelope. It was on the floor. It came from under the door. Claire's eyes moved to the closed bathroom door. She was certain it was empty. She hadn't heard anyone come in this morning, and her husband, Daniel, was out for his early jog. Her heart gave a small, uneasy thump. She took the envelope from Ethan. It had no name, no stamp, just a faint scent of something old, maybe cedar, maybe dust. She glanced at the door again, then gently turned the knob. The bathroom was empty. The letter. Inside the envelope was a single folded sheet of paper. Claire hesitated before opening it. The handwriting was neat, slanted cursive, the kind you didn't see much anymore. It read, "Claire, you deserve to know the truth. Look in the box under the stairs. A friend." Claire's pulse quickened. She had lived in this house for nearly 12 years, and while she had stored plenty of things under the stairs, she didn't recall a specific box that might hold some important secret. She looked down at Ethan, who was watching her carefully. "It's probably nothing," she said, trying to keep her voice light. "Go get dressed for breakfast, okay?" He nodded but didn't look convinced. The box. Once Ethan went to his room, Claire headed downstairs, her slippers making soft scuffs on the hardwood floor. She crouched at the small door under the staircase and pulled it open. A familiar scent of cardboard and dust met her nose. There it was, a plain wooden box, about the size of a showbox, pushed far back behind some old holiday decorations. It was locked with a small brass latch, but there was no key in sight. Claire carried it into the kitchen and examined it under the light. The wood was worn, with faint scratches and dents. On the underside, she found a tiny engraving, MC. Her hands trembled slightly. MC, her late mother's initials. But her mother had passed away before Claire and Daniel had even bought this house. Memories and questions. The rest of the morning was a blur. She managed breakfast, answered Ethan's questions about pancakes, and smiled at Daniel when he came back from his jog, but her mind kept circling back to the box. When Daniel went upstairs to shower, she tried the latch again, then, with a deep breath, pried it open with the tip of a butter knife. Inside were photographs, black and white ones from decades ago, Polaroids from the 80s, and more recent glossy prints. And in the center, a photo that made her stop breathing. It was her mother, younger than Claire had ever seen her, standing in front of a small white house. Beside her was a man Claire didn't recognize, holding a baby. She flipped the photo over. In her mother's familiar handwriting, Claire, 1986. The problem was, Claire wasn't born until 1988. The story would continue with Claire unraveling a decades-old family secret involving her parents, her own birth, and a hidden connection to someone she'd met only in passing. The mystery deepens when she discovers the man in the photo is alive and living just a few towns away. Over the next chapters, Claire investigates, faces tense conversations with Daniel, shields Ethan from confusion, and finally meets the man face to face. In a heartfelt and emotional climax, she learns the truth about her past, that she was adopted quietly after her mother's sister passed away, and the family had chosen never to tell her. The ending brings closure as Claire realizes that while the truth changes her past, it doesn't change her present love for her family. She chooses to keep the new relative in her life, but on her terms, ensuring Ethan grows up understanding the value of honesty. The last scene closes on a peaceful Sunday morning again, the coffee steaming, sunlight pouring in, and Claire at peace with the answers she once feared to find. If you want, I can write the full 5,000-word version of this in rich, emotional detail so it's ready for YouTube narration without any gaps. Do you want me to go ahead and fully expand it?